So it's the 30th of April, and this new garlic bed is still fairly wet. Most particularly, I suppose, because we had a lot of rain yesterday and a little bit over the week just gone, but also just because of the sort of amount of organic matter that's in here, the compost and the lucerne, the wet lucerne and the manures make it a pretty wet mix. I tried to put a bit of soil, mix a bit of soil through last week, but it's still pretty wet. It should be okay, I think. The concern would obviously just be for the garlic bulbs rotting, but they're big bulbs, so that may help as well. So these are the garlic bulbs that we grew here last year. They are absolutely massive. It's definitely a handful there, and very well developed cloves. I'm getting about, I don't know, 4 or 5 cloves per bulb, and I've got 3 of these big ones, and then some other medium-sized ones. So you can see a single clove is kind of that big. So they're big, and I'm pretty sure that the year prior, so 2020, Mark and I stopped and bought this garlic on the side of the road just as we head out of Daylesford. It was pretty pricey, I remember, but we hoped that it would be good quality. We intended to eat it, but when I pulled it up last year, I realised that it was good garlic, and determined to keep it and replant it. So that's what I'm doing. So it's the 7th of May today, and a week after I planted the bulbs in the orchard, garlic bed, using our own leftover bulbs from last year that actually came out of this bed that I'm about to plant into now. And so today I'm going to plant in here Rojo de Castro garlic, which is a late season, thrives in hot, dry climates. Looks like it needs a long growing period, about 12 plus months. That's okay. Very strong flavour. And there's two heads of garlic in there. Decent size. There's a few cloves in there, which is good. Have a nice smell. Not especially strong, but nice enough. A little bit soft there. That's the second one. You can see there's one growing there. Obviously I've missed it. Missed harvesting it last year. That's no problems. This soil actually, or soil and humus and whatever else is in here, is actually, I think it's better than the bed that I prepared in the orchard, just because it's not as wet. I've been adding lots of materials to it, stuff from the sheep pen, some charcoal from the fire, and some soil from about the place. And it's got a lovely sort of texture to it. It smells beautiful. I've just hoed it very lightly just now, and I think the garlic should do well in here. There's lots of earthworms and little creatures in here, which suggest that it's doing quite well. Lots of sheep manure. So I think this should be very good. So do two cloves or bulbs rather, in this section, and maybe that will take up half the bed. And what I thought I'd do in this half, potato onions. I've never heard of them before. So it's an onion that sort of resembles a shallot. Easy to grow, 6-month growing period. In a sense. So then, oh, well, that's actually, I think they're meant to be single bulbs, but actually there's 2 cloves in there, so that, if I was to peel that off, maybe that could be separated. Actually, I'm sure it could be. Smells oniony. So I'll do, yeah, single, double. So maybe I'll get 8 of those. This will be the second year that I've grown in here with this very rustic bed, but certainly does the job. Better than burning it, I think. And the lavender that I put in last weekend, where I had 2, the one at each end has been growing there for quite some time, and I've added 5 pots of I think it's a Grosso lavender, so that will effectively become mostly a lavender bed, but there's some lamb's ear in there as well, and verbascum as well, right up the end. Kind of looks a bit like a cabbage. It hasn't flowered yet, I should say, but the verbascum there. So that lavender is the ones that I've added. So that should be quite good, I think. And then I think there was some garlic in that bed last time. Didn't work very well, actually. You can see some that I've left, you can see there. And this is just maybe some cosmos, I'm not sure. I sprinkled in some seeds, and there's some alyssum there, and cosmos. So I might actually just turn this into a flower bed. There's sweet potato in here, but I think what has happened since we've been here last week is that we've had some frost, because that has turned black. I might actually pull that up today and just see if there's anything happening beneath the surface. I expect there isn't. But also the pumpkin has given up the ghost, I think, on account of frost. Doesn't matter, because this was literally seed from the organic food bucket that I tend to bring out. So just a supermarket pumpkin. I think it was a Jap pumpkin, and I thought I'd chuck it in here, given that this pot, this big container here, wasn't really doing anything else. And I think it would have worked if I had put it in the ground earlier in the year. So that garlic has gone in. And in this bed here, I've taken out the 2 sweet potatoes that were in there as a trial. You can see that the frost has got to them, so they're, from this point onward, they're custard, even though this one is definitely still alive. So one of them, really nothing was happening at the root. No tubers, no sweet potato. The other one actually had started to do something, and it looks like it's super curled up, which suggests to me that maybe the soil was just too hard and it couldn't sort of penetrate. But as I was sort of digging through the soil, I found other little bits. So again, maybe if it were planted earlier in the season, and if the soil were worked through a bit better and were a bit more friable, you know, maybe it's a possibility that that sweet potatoes or some other sort of tubers would grow in this space. What I did notice as I was digging through it is there's actually a bit more garlic in here that obviously I didn't harvest it so well. And I can remember actually that I was losing the light on the actual day that I was doing it, and the ground was super hard to boot, so I didn't pay much attention to it. I just focused on that other bed. But there's at least 1, 2, 3, you can see them there. 1, 2, 3, there's 4 that I can see so far, and so probably there's going to be more. In any event, they can just be effectively ornamental garlic. From this point, what I've done is put a salvia that, Brendan, if you're watching this is your salvia. I've had it sitting in a pot in the orchard section for a while, just until I could work out what to do with it. And it seems to be going well enough. So, and this bed does get quite dry, so that should work there. And some little sort of perennial sort of shrub type things I just got from Royal Botanic Gardens. All of these kind of have a silvery, certainly this one here, a silvery sort of appearance in the foliage. So that might look quite nice against the lavender which is growing in that bed just behind it. Planting into this bed was just beautiful. The soil is just so nice. I've said this plenty of times before, but sometimes soil just has a sweetness to it which is really incomparable to anything else, but it's very nice to touch and sort of work with, and that's the case with that bed there now. So rain's just coming in. Grab my book. Sheep have left their lucerne. I really don't need very much lucerne at this point. I don't know why I'm bringing it. Well, actually I do. I bring it because they like it, and I like it when they're happy. But they don't really need it.